And as Dami said, we work with a wide variety of corporate, government, non governmental, educational, and social entities using improvisational techniques and culture to meet them where they are in their business or in their lives. So, what we're going to do today sounds tremendously serious, but really what it amounts to is we're going to play some games and we're going to talk about them. So, the reflection is really the most important of it, where what you find in these games matters a lot more than certainly than what I find in the games. I've done them hundreds of times. What are you seeing? That's what's important. So, a couple of things before we begin. First, it's really important that uh, you participate if you are able. If you are not able for a particular game, you certainly may sit out of that game. But we do ask that you don't lure anyone else out and that you don't comment if you didn't participate. If that's okay, could I get a hand wave, a fist bump, a thumbs up, nodding, however you want to respond? Cool. Awesome. Thank you. Next, all of these work 200% better if your video is on when you're participating, so that everyone who's in the meeting can see you. That would be great. So, there's an American actor who was interviewed about his performance in a show in the last couple of years, where he would start the show by walking out and just staring at the audience. And the interviewer asked him what he was doing, and he said he was communicating with the audience that you may be challenged, you may be changed, but you won't be harmed. So we're not here to harm you. Nobody's here to make fun of you. Nobody has to perform. Nobody has to be funny. Just play the games, see what happens. So, let's dive in if we can. And I just want you to remember, nobody's judging you. They're all more concerned about what they're doing. So let's play the games, shall we? All right. We're going to start with something that's very unusual in a Zoom meeting. It's a game called Walk Stop. And what I'm going to ask you to do when I say walk, I want you to walk. Get up and walk around your space. If you're on a phone, carry it with you. Otherwise, you don't need to stay within camera shot. We do want your cameras on, if possible. And we'll see how we do with everybody unmuted, because we do have some verbal things with this game as well. So it's walk. I want you to walk. And then when I say stop, I want you to stop. But stop does not mean freeze. It just means finish your step safely. Okay, so we don't want anybody teetering in the air. And if you're like me, I am very, very close to the ceiling in my basement. So I am going to stay seated and just pretend like I'm walking, which you can do as well. Okay, so that's an option. But if you can get up and move around and want to, please do. All right, let's do it. Walk. Stop. Walk. Stop. Walk. Stop. Great. Now we're going to reverse those. So stop becomes walk, and walk becomes stop. Stop. Walk. Stop. Walk. Great. Now we're going to add another layer to the game. So don't let this second layer affect the first layer, whether you're walking or stopping. Those should stay independent of this. In the second layer, when I call name, I want you to yell out your first name. Name. Yeah,
Sarah.
be unmuted if you can. Okay, we want to hear the noise. Okay, name.
Crunchy.
Great. Name. Great. The next one is jump. So as little as a shrug of the shoulders can be a jump. If you want to catch some air, that's great, but please do so safely. Jump. Name.
Ranji.
Jump. Stop. Remember, we reversed them. Name.
Ranji.
Keep moving, right? Jump. Name.
Ranji.
Jump. All right, now we're reversing name and jump. Jump becomes name, and name becomes jump. Should still be moving. Okay. Name. Jump.
Ranji.
Jump.
Ranji.
Name. Walk. Whew. Okay. Wow, we'll talk about what just happened after the game, but we're going to add a third layer. Okay? So in this third layer, I would like you first, when I say clap, to have everyone clap once. Clap. Clap. Great. The next one is color. So this one's a little bit different. When I say color, I want you to yell out the name of the color in whatever language you prefer. It's fine. And here's the thing with color is you don't have to yell out the same color every time. You can change it if you want. For instance, I might say orange the first time, and later on I might say black the next time. So you can change your color name, and any language that you want to use, you can use it. Ready? Color. Clap. Color.
Purple.
Name. Stop. Clap. Color. Jump. Clap. All right, clap becomes color, and color becomes clap. We're reversing them. All right? Clap. Color. Name. Clap. Jump. 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 All right. Awesome job. Now you can clap it up without saying any colors. Awesome. Great. So this is the reflection part where everything you say is true. It's your response. What did you notice happening in this game?
Can I?
Please.
When we start changing the action based on the order we have received, we start when it became like number of actions or number of orders, we start forgetting what we need to change.
Right.
Yeah.
So when there's just a couple of changes, most people are managing those pretty well. If you start piling up a ton of changes, one on top of the other, it becomes very, very difficult. The software people, software engineers talk about buffer overflow in memory. And I don't know exactly all the technical stuff behind it, but I think it's like you're filling up a glass and then eventually you just can't do any more without losing something, right? Cool. What else did you notice?
Sorry. Yeah, for me, it's distraction. I got distracted a bit because I received phone call and then I come back. I could not follow anymore.
Oh, okay. Yeah, actually, that's a great point. What if you have a teammate who's out for a little bit at a time when changes are made, right? What happens when that teammate comes back? They're lost unless we help them and make arrangements for them, right? Awesome. That's great reflection. What else? There are no wrong answers. Yeah, go ahead.
It's confusing. It's confusing to do something that is not supposed to do, or like when the word is just swap or changing or shifting. So I confuse to remember, especially when the instruction is more complicated.
Right. Yeah. Part of the design of the game is the color piece, where I encourage you to do different colors beginning. That just adds complexity to it, like crazy. So, can anybody think of how this might connect to your work? This complexity. Again, there are no wrong answers.
I guess in regards to instruction is that you know, when we give an instruction, we should give instruction, not ambiguous, or leaving it to the person that we give instruction to interpret. Yeah, so at least that's one.
Sure.
Clear instruction.
Yeah, being clear, very, very important. Yep. Also, maybe not piling so many things on at once, depending on the person. I mean, there are some people that you can hand 10 instructions to at a time and they'll get them all. But that's not everybody. It's certainly not me. Cool. I have a question. Raise your hand if you made a mistake during this game. Yep. Almost everybody. I see that Damilola is perfect. That's good to know. So what happened when we made mistakes? What happened next?
That's okay. Just pay attention for the next one.
Yeah. Just get ready and keep going. Get ready for the next one, right? This is pretty low stakes, but honestly, a lot of mistakes that we make are fairly low stakes. And really what matters is what happens next, right? Not the mistake itself. We're human beings. We make a lot of mistakes. So really what matters is what happens next. How do we recover from it gracefully, or help others recover from their mistakes gracefully? That's the most important thing. Cool. Any other thoughts on that? Okay.
Embarrassment?
Embarrassment? Sure,
I mean,
that can be what happens next, but
it depends
again,
on what kind of the mistake, but at least in this game, I mean, when I realized that, like, okay, I'm lost, I have no idea what happened, because it was just short distraction and I come back, I mean, I feel a bit embarrassed because I really don't know what to do.
Sure. Absolutely. Well, and part of that is maybe having grace for those people, extending grace to those people who do get lost or do make mistakes, right? So the embarrassment thing sort of can get in our way, and can certainly get in other people's way from accomplishing what we need to accomplish. That's a great observation. Thank you. I appreciate that. Anything else before we move on? Okay, I'm going to throw it over to Damilola for what's next.
Thank you so much, Patrick. Thank you very much, everyone. I just shake it off. All right, thank you. All right, so the next activity is called What's Not Wrong With Your Life Right Now? And we're going to demonstrate, Patrick and I will demonstrate to you. And then we're going to send you to a breakout room where you have 2 people, just you and 1 person. So 2 people in the breakout room. And then you're going to take turn each breakout room has 4 minutes. So each person gets 2 minutes, and 2 minutes would send a message to your breakout room to switch so that the other partner can do it. So the tech person has informed me that one of the rooms will have 3 people. So we can have 80, we can have one person from our team join them, if that's okay. Patrick and I do not have to go into a breakout room. That's okay. All right. So Patrick, can we demonstrate what's not wrong with your life?
Absolutely. So when you get sent into the breakout room, quickly decide who has longer hair and who has shorter hair. So if Damilola and I are in a breakout room, Damilola has longer hair. I have very little hair. So there we are. It's not a judgment, trust me. So we're going to have the longer-haired person ask the shorter-haired person this question over and over, and that question is, what's not wrong with your life? So let's demonstrate for about 20 seconds. Go ahead.
Patrick, what's not wrong with your life right now?
I get to be here. This is fun. I'm enjoying this.
What's not wrong with your life right now?
I have Earl Grey tea. Thank you very much.
Tell me more.
Well, it's pretty early where I am, so it's pretty important that I have something with a little bit of caffeine in it to get me going, and the tea is just the thing. If I drank coffee, I would start bouncing off the walls, and it would
What's
be
not wrong with your life right now, Patrick?
Great. I have a pen.
All right, so you keep on asking the question, and then I introduced something when I said, tell me more. So if you're inquisitive, you want to know more about what that person said, you could just say, tell me more. You don't need to go deeper just for a bit of information about what that person said, just said. All right, so we're gonna go into a breakout room and then we'll be
Sorry,
back.
Damilola, what is the question? I could not hear properly. What is the question you asked to Patrick?
What is not wrong with your life right now?
What is not wrong?
Yes.
Okay.
So we're going to send a question to the as a message. What's not wrong with your life right now? Did you get that? It's tricky, right? We're going to discuss why we asked that way. So the question again is, what is not wrong with your life right now? Let's go. AD, over to you.
About the coordination mechanism at regional level and local.
Welcome back, everyone.
I can see
some
smiling face.
Yeah, sorry about that. So let's reflect on that. How was that for you? Why did we ask the question that way? Anybody?
Because
Quiet.
Yeah, I think the question was asked that way because if you ask someone exactly what is wrong with your life, they'll not be able to tell you what is really disturbing them. But when you ask like that, they'll tell you all the positive things surrounding them or about their lives.
Yep.
Where else? Go ahead. Who else? Yes, go ahead. Are you?
For me, it's difficult because of the not part. Our brain is easier to work with what's wrong with your life, or you know, that sentence. But then when you put not, it's just like you need to find what is not wrong in your life. And I guess that's also the same thing like the game before, to swap the instruction when you clap when you about the color or something like that. So it's a little bit difficult for me to answer that.
And why is that, if I may ask? Why is it difficult for us to think of the things that are not wrong in our life?
Because I guess because of the not part, not, I mean, what is not wrong? Because if you just ask me what what's wrong in your life right now, that's going to be easier. But when you negate that sentence, so it's difficult because you have to find what is not wrong. Our brain cannot work that way. That's what I think.
Or maybe it can work that way if it's trained that way, right? And then we have new pathways that we can use. It's a great, thank you. Great reflection.
Anyone else? You don't have to turn on your camera if you want to just use your audio.
I think for me is that, you know, you're asking someone about their day, their life. And then for me that there is a kind of like, you know, you don't really want to open up like that, like just to random colleagues. So my brain process about what information that I want to share, even if it sounds like very simple, like, yeah, I'm drinking tea, but then you keep asking, like, what is not wrong? What is wrong? And then to the point, it's just like, yeah, well, you know, but I don't think I want to say that much to you.
Would you?
I mean, at least, you know, I feel like I start to cover it up with, like, you know, especially when that part is like keep asking the same question and again. Like I feel like, all right, now you're pushing the button here. You keep asking the same thing, like you're getting annoying.
If you wanted to say something, go ahead. Okay, anyone else?
For us, we couldn't hear each other because I was unmuted, again muted by the host. So we couldn't hear each other. We tried our best to chat up and listen to each other. So there was a communication barrier.
Comes with tech. So most times we like you said, we tend to focus more on or find it easy to really talk about what is actually wrong. David also mentioned that what is actually wrong. It's easier to really talk about how the day is not good, how work is really bad, how the leader is the team lead is really annoying, and the project is not being implemented in the proper way, and then we forget the things that are actually working, the things that are actually there's little successes, the number of house shelters we've provided, the number of IDPs that are now having a very good livelihood, but we focus on the big numbers of those who are still in conflict, or who are still the number of internal migrations we're having and things like that, but not really looking back to reflect on the successes and what we've achieved, what is actually not wrong. And just like Patrick said, it's easier if we can focus on that. I can't remember, Patrick, is that Apple or Nike, that when they need to now start their meeting, they start their meeting, the weekly meeting, with the question, what's not wrong with the project right now?
It's actually Intel.
Intel.
Yeah. The chip people. Yeah.
So they ask, you come into the office and we want to start a meeting. It's now, what's not wrong with the project? Rather than what are the setbacks from the project.
Right. Starts with a sense of achievement and connection instead of what most meetings are, right? Which is, we have emergencies. Cool.
All right, so we're going to do 5 things in common. We're going to, because of the number of people we have in here, If it's okay, AD, to adjust that to probably 3 people in a room, can we do that? And then when we go into the new breakout room, you would try and find out 5 things that are not physically seen, physically noticeable, that you have in common with the people in your group, in your breakout room. I don't know if that is clear. So we're going to send you to a breakout room. You're going to have 2 to 3 people in that breakout room. And then we would then have to, without looking at the physical appearance, what are 3 things you people have in common? And then you have just 4 minutes or so to find out those 5 things that you have in common with those people. So when you come back, we would have each group, each breakout room, tell us what they have in common together. Does anybody have any question? Okay, AD, when you're ready, we're ready. Welcome back, everyone. Thank you, everyone. Do we have everybody back? All right. So we have, is there a breakout? I can't even remember the breakout room I was in. So can we just have any of the breakout room offer to go first, or my room can go first, if that's okay, just to show an example of what we're looking at. So for my room, I have 2 cameras on.
Fancy.
That's supposed to be a backup backup something. All right. So for my breakout room, 3 of us. I was with Mesa and Dr. Musa, and 3 of us. I'm sorry. Mesa, did you have it written? Mesa, probably you can do the presentation.
I haven't listed all the points that we agreed on, but I can mention some. First of us, that not all of us at the duty station, that all the participants, they were out of their duty station. The other point, all of us, we have like this skills on teamwork, like to work as a team. The other point is that leadership, like we have the skills of the leadership. All of us working on humanitarian activities or have the willingness to work in humanitarian activities. The first one.
We've all worked in Mediguri at a point in our life.
Yes, exactly. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mesa. So let's clap for that group. So let's call on IU's group. I don't know those who are in IU's group.
David, do you want to share?
David.
David?
You're muted.
You're on mute.
Okay, yeah. From our group, it was myself, Sarah, and Ayu, and we had a number of things that we asked that we had in common. The first one was all of us loved watching Netflix. We enjoyed cooking. We enjoyed dancing, traveling, and then we also try to check other things like spicy food. Yeah, for spicy food, and what else? And yeah, for tea and coffee, 2 of us loved tea. 1 person loved coffee. Over.
Thank you. Thank you. So can we have a FIRE's group?
I guess that's us.
Yes.
Okay. Would you like to report? I mean, I have them in writing if you need them.
Yeah, I can do that, Patrick. So
Okay.
so my group is me and Patrick. So what we have in common currently, we are on Zoom. We both have sister. We have daughter. We have pets. We have cat and goldfish. We both play piano, and we both have moved to a different location of our hometown at some point in our life. That's all.
Isn't it interesting that so far the three groups have focused on different areas? One focused on work, one focused on a lot
Yeah.
on things people do.
I
and then we
noticed that too.
And we focused on sort of
group is so serious.
structural things, right, in our lives. That's fascinating. That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, it's all good. It's all within the instruction.
Thank you.
Cool.
So let's go meet Adele's group. I'm only calling people with the names on the screen. So let me know if I haven't called your group. Meet Adele's group.
Yeah. She frozen?
I think she's frozen. Anybody from my group?
Yeah, I am from our group. So so we had the fact that we loved. So she loves watching movies, and I make movies. So that's something that's common between us. And food. Yeah, okay, there she is. Mitadel, you want to share something about us, about what we share, or?
Yes, I can share. So for us, when it comes to hobbies, we both like movies, and then we both look Indians. The look is similar. We both have children. Actually, yes, it's not about the boy or whether it's a boy or a girl, but both of us has children. And then, yes, in our career, we both managed HR at some point or currently, so that also was one of our common ground. Thank you.
Thank you.
You can add if I forget anything, Randy.
We also like biryani. We have something common.
All right, thank you very much. I don't know if Ruth is still here. Whose group haven't I called? PMA Buruki. What group is that? Adara Okoli. And we have your group.
My name is Prosper. So our group, we stated we like to listen to music. We are human beings. We work for IOM. We breathe. So those are some of the common things we came up with. Thank you.
Thank you. Adara, is that the same group? Is Adara there? All right. Let's move on because of time. So how was that activity for you? Is Maester saying something? You're muted.
Okay, no, sorry. Thank you, sorry.
Are you saying something?
Sorry, no, I'm not saying anything. I think that I'm home, so that's why I'm talking to one of my family members. Sorry.
Okay. All right. So how was the activity for you? What Maggie? All right. Patrick. Okay, are you? Go ahead.
It's interesting to explore common thing among us. Then when we don't have commonalities, then we find another one. That's interesting.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I mentioned it before, but I thought it was fascinating that the different groups approached the same exercise differently, very differently, in terms of what commonalities they were looking for. I think that's great. It's all valid. It's all good.
Maybelline. Over to you, Patrick.
Okay, great. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go into breakout rooms of 2 again. And this is definitely a camera on exercise. I'm not sure how we would do it without camera being on. And we're going to do a thing called mirroring. So if everybody right now could just turn their camera off, leaving Damilola and me on, it might be a little easier to see. Cool. Awesome. That's probably good enough. So what we're going to do is choose who is leading and who is following, and you can switch off during the exercise. You're going to have how much time? 2 minutes or so in your breakout rooms, maybe a little bit more. We'll see. Start with one person leading, and so I'll start leading, and Damilola is going to follow me. Now understand there's a little bit of zoom lag, but we'll do our best. So we're going to start a simple gesture, and then make simple changes to it. So I'm not trying to fool him. I'm trying to make it pretty easy to follow. And now we're going to switch off. You'll go a little longer, but let's switch off and have Damilola lead. Okay, what I'd like to try now is just a little bit of neither of us leading. We're both following, and see what happens. Okay, great, awesome. Apparently, what happens when neither of us are leading is that we slowly tip over. But that was what was happening. We'll talk a little bit more about this exercise and what's going on when we're done. But all you have to do is decide who's leading and make a slow series of gestures and have the other person follow. Cameras on, please. Do we have any questions before we get sent into our breakout rooms on this? And then you can verbally, it's not that you can't talk, but try not to talk much until you're passing the leadership on back and forth. And you can try passing the leadership back and forth and try doing a thing where you're both following and see what happens. Okay? Cool. So let's go into our breakout rooms if we are ready to do that. All right, welcome back. So, what did you notice during this game? No wrong answers.
It requires a particular attention to make sure that you don't miss out the movement from your partner, especially when it's leading.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, you have to be really focused and what we in improv call in the moment. You got to be right there. If your attention wanders, you lose that connection between folks. Lita, did you have something?
Yeah, it's easy when it's clear who taking the lead. But when the last part that no one taking the lead, then that's okay. We're gonna lead. But then I see that okay, I'm a follower. Let me follow. I'm trying to at least to copy. But yeah, if it is clear, so that's easier.
Yeah, that's a really good point. When when leadership is clear, everybody knows, okay, this is where the communication is coming from, this is where the instruction and the vision is coming from. But it's not always possible, and we have to be ready to step up and lead if that's our moment. Yeah, and particularly with how volatile and uncertain the world is and how quickly things change. Top down, one person sort of telling everybody every detail that they have to do just it really works in very few places anymore. So you have to be ready, even in small pieces, to take on that leadership and to trade it off. So this game's really nice practice for that. Did anybody feel like they had some success with following the follower, where both people were following? I'm seeing some slight head shakes. Not really. It's hard. It takes a while, and we're not going to practice over and over a period of a number of weeks with this. But I do have an anecdote about this. It's an actor named Alan Alda who came from improvisation, very, very interested in science communication. He started consulting with some people and eventually formed the Center for Science or Communication in Science at Stony Brook University in New York. And part of his training for the scientists to get them to be better storytellers was the goal. So that, I mean, scientists have a lot of data, but what's the story that gives it meaning? That's the important part. And so they were doing this mirroring exercise, and he was saying, okay, one person lead and the other follow, and this person lead and this person follow. And then he'd say, now follow the follower. Both of you just go. And they worked on it for a while, but a bunch of the scientists were very skeptical that it wasn't really somebody leading, right? And so they were saying this isn't real until one of the scientists said, we can measure this. And they got neural nets and put them on people's heads, and they measured their brain waves while they were leading, and they measured their brain waves while they were following. And then they measured when they were saying follow the follower. And for people who had worked together before and entered this state of following the follower, the brain waves showed that neither of them were leading. They were following. Now, it had to be people who'd worked together for a while for that to really work. And for us to suddenly slam into this today within a couple of minutes, that's very difficult. But there is something to it, that if we work together long enough and we're open enough with each other, we can both lead, we can both follow. It's awesome. Damilola?
Thank you very much, Patrick. We're going to have everybody go into another breakout room. It's a lot of breakout rooms. Yeah. If we're in the physical space, we just have you to walk up to one person. But thanks to Zoom, we can have breakout rooms. And this activity is going to lead to the next activity. And then we're going to just randomly in our group have the other person, so two people in a group, and have the other person just mention 5 things, 4 things in any category of things you may suggest to your partner. So Patrick and I would show you an example or would demonstrate what it looks like. Don't hesitate in your response. You don't have to say the right or wrong. There's no right or wrong response. Just be present, be spontaneous, whatever comes to your mind. Like we said, no right or wrong answer. We're not marking score. It's not attached to the promotion exam. So whatever comes to your mind, just say it. So if you could watch this demonstration from Patrick and I.
Okay.
4 things. Patrick, go ahead.
All right. Damilola, tell me 4 things that you do not like to eat.
Fish, liver, vegetables, and beans. Patrick,
Okay.
could you tell me 5 things you can find in an office?
Computer.
4 things.
Okay. Computer, a stapler, a machine with a water jug on it, and people working hard. Those are 4 things.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's as
Yes.
simple as that. Oh, we're going to keep going?
Okay, so you keep going. I wanted us
Yeah.
to ask twice. So you keep going until it's time for you to leave the breakout room. So I believe you're going to have 4 minutes to do that. So one person asks, the other person responds, that person asks, the other person responds, then you go
Just
like
keep
that.
going back and forth. Yep.
Keep going back and forth till we
Awesome.
have you come back. Is that okay? So you could ask about things you can find in the toilet, in the kitchen, anything. There's no right or wrong group for it. So AD, over to you, do your magic. Come back. Thank you for joining. Welcome back, everyone. So how was that activity for you? What comes to your mind when you played that? What was your experience like?
For me, I think initially I struggled because you don't know what question the person will ask. So if they ask you something, you have to quickly divert back your mind to what they think of something, then be able to say what they want to know. Over.
Thank you, David. How does that make you feel?
It makes you feel like sometimes you might not be expecting something. So sometimes alertness is not there. So until you are very keen, that's when you'll be able to, to respond to something. If you're fatigued or something, it means you'll be able to take a while before you process what you're being asked, what you need to do. Over.
Thank you. Maybe like what Patrick said earlier in the workshop, maybe it can be easier when you practice. So we have a term we use, we say improv is like a gym. So people go to the gym to really exercise their physical muscles. And then when you practice improvisation, which is the tool that we practice here and what we offer in this workshop, you exercise your mental muscles to be able to be spontaneous in working as a team, problem solving. It's like you solving a problem, you getting a task and being able to be spontaneous in response to that task. So naturally, it's like you said, it might not be easy, but as a result of practice, exercising your mental muscles, you might be able to really overcome that. over time. Who else?
For me, the game feels like blind date. Like it's literally like a blind date. It's like you're asking more question about the person, but we ask question that is not really heavy. So it's more about that person. What do you like? What do you like? And then along the way, there is a similarities of what you like from your opponent. And I feel like actually in within that short period of time, if I feel like already like, okay, I know this person a little bit just by asking this kind of question.
Great. That's awesome.
Anyone else? I think it's interesting that some people actually played it in terms of personalizing it to, just like Faye said, what they like. It's an interesting perspective to see doing 4 things in that aspect. 4 things you like to eat. All right. Anyone else? In terms of thinking about working in a team, working as a leader or leading a team, what aspects of that activity can be helpful for you?
Can I?
Go ahead, Maya.
Yeah,
Maya.
it is when related to communication, how to communicate. It's also one of the challenge we have when we are working here. It's some difficulties how to understand each other and how to communicate. So just I think it's one of the points that we need to address it.
Thank you very much, Maisa. All right, so we're going to move to the next activity. And this time we're going to go into 2 people in a room. But I'm going to give you a scenario, and I'm going to also paste that scenario on the chat box right now, so that you can all have an understanding of what this scenario is. This time around, you're going to do a bit of performance with yourself in the group, and when we come back, we will see what happens next. I'm going to paste the scenario in the group, in the chat box, so that everyone can see, and then I can read that. So in a team, not at IOM, a pregnant team member has just told a team leader that she feels weak and she needs a break off work. The team leader responds to the team member that she's beginning to make lazy excuses and she won't be the first person on the team or in the organization to get pregnant. So why is she being so difficult during a pregnancy period? So that's the situation. So what we're going to do is in the breakout room, one person will be the team leader, and the other person will be the team member. So you would decide who the team leader is among yourselves, and then decide who the team member is, and try and do a role play out this scenario and have a conversation like in character, like the team lead and the team member. So the team lead is against the team member who needs a break because she's pregnant and she's having public contraction or anything. Do we understand? All right, Katie, when you're ready, you can do your magic.
Oops. Okay, sir.
Yeah, I totally understand your situation, and for me, it's fine. So long as you can, for me, it's fine. You can take a break from work, maybe get medical advice, and then come back maybe in 2 days' time. Go for a bed rest, and then you can come back.
Come back?
Yes. You take a
Sorry,
break.
sir. Sorry, sir. David, yeah. So I want to ask who's going to do his work. Yeah, he's going to take rest for 2 days. Who's going to do his work? I'm not going to do.
Yeah, so as he takes break, she takes break for 2 days to go and get medical attention and maybe a doctor's letter to be able to maybe take a bed rest. There will be someone to support.
But sir, please remember, according to the Nigerian tradition, I need to take rest for minimum 4 weeks. I need to have some songs. I need to have the traditional dance when I am with the baby. And you know how rich tradition is. And because of which, I'm sorry, I'm feeling very weak, so tired. My God, my stomach is going to burst anytime.
Yes. So what we will do, for now, you go for the 2 days break. Go to
No, I'm sorry. No, it's not 2 days. I need 4 weeks leave, Mr. David.
Yes.
Recording in progress.
Welcome back, everyone. Yeah, welcome back. Okay, so how was that experience for you? Were you, was the message for us, David? We couldn't hear you.
So I was saying there's an echo in the background.
Okay, I think the person has muted. Yes. All right. So we're going to ask for one of the group to please show us what they did. Remember, the instruction is that the team member is asking for a leave of absence, and then the team leader is, or the manager is like, no, who's going to do your work? It's going to be difficult. You can't take 2 weeks off, 3 weeks off. It's not possible. So which group would like to volunteer their own scenario, and then the rest of us will have to turn off our cameras so that we can pay attention and watch them. So this is what is going to happen when the team presents their performance. The rest of us at the second take would volunteer to change the outcome of the scenario. But let's have the original scenario first. So which group would like to go? Banji's group. Okay.
So
all right, so let's have the
my partner is David.
Yes. All right, so David and Ranji, let's the rest of us turn off our camera.
Sir, may I please come in, sir?
Come in, please.
Oh. I have been carrying this baby for such a long time. Sir, I need leave. I need to take off from work for some days. As a new mother, pain is unbearable. I don't think I can carry this long. I need you to understand my feelings.
Yes, I understand. And
you understand?
Yes, will you be able to clarify how many days you want to take?
I was thinking weeks, sir. I was thinking 4 weeks is a good time, because according to the cultural tradition of Abuja, we have to sing and dance before the baby comes. So I have to be there, You know how it is.
Yes. For me, what you need to do first is to ensure you go to the doctor, at least for him to be able to give you a letter indicating the need for you to rest. So
can't you see my stomach? It is so big. Why do you need a letter from some doctor to tell that I'm really pregnant?
Yeah, because there are policies to be followed, and we have to adhere to that. So we have to first of all, yes, we have to first of all go through the medicals to be able, and then you should coordinate with the PA.
So how many days? Let me cut the chase. How many days leave are you going to give me so that I can deliver a beautiful baby?
When is your due date?
In some time.
Yeah, so, and that is why I say it's good for you to first of all take 2 days off, go for medicals.
I want a minimum 4 weeks because of the I told you all that. So since you are such a kind and empathetic and sympathetic man, and you understand my feelings, and I understand that you are also one day a baby, isn't it? So it is important that work is important. My work, I'm sure you can do it, or you can give it to somebody else. And my baby cannot be delivered by you or anybody else, but the work can be taken care by anybody else, right?
Yes.
All right.
Excellent.
Thank you very much. Let's put our hands together for them. All right. Thank you. Thank you, David. So let's have another group also. I think we have time to take another group. Let's have another group before we start exploring which one. Can we have another group volunteer? It doesn't have to be this long, so don't be scared. You can turn on your cameras, everyone, as we wait.
Naisa, if you wanna.
Okay, Sarah's group. Would you like to go? Maisha and Sarah. Okay, let's watch.
Hey, good afternoon, Sarah. May I talk to you for some personal issues, if possible?
Yes, please go ahead. Yeah.
As you know that I'm pregnant 5 months now, and I'm facing some difficulties staying in the office for long hours. So it was recommended by my doctor if it's possible to have less hours in the office. And he said maybe like maximum 5 hours I can stay in the office sitting on the chair, and still like maybe if it's possible also 3 days a week being in the office. It's only 4 months now when I get my baby, so I'm asking for your permission just to be in the office 3 days a week and 5 hours on those days, if it's possible. And I don't know if you need any support document, any report from the doctor to support my request.
Yeah, okay. Okay. You're asking for 5 hours instead of 8 and 3 days. So that means you will be in the office for 15 hours a week. That's less than part-time. I mean, and for 4 months, right? Okay.
Yes.
This is
for my task I'm trying to I have to do, but it's just because it's not recommended to be in the office for long hours. So I'll try also to coordinate with my colleagues to see how if it's possible to handle some of my tasks. But because it's very difficult for me being in the office like more than 5 hours. That's very tiring.
Yeah, but this is what you're asking for is a lot. I'm sorry. I mean, you could, take maybe some leave, but what you're asking for is paid leave, right? You want this paid leave. This is too much. this is too much for paid leave. It's something that will put honestly a lot of pressure on me. You know, we have things to finish, we have a deadline, and if you're coming in less than half the time, then I'm sorry, like work is gonna suffer. I know you're pregnant, you know, but it's just like what you're asking for is too much, you know. And
if it's about the work and
yeah,
the levels, I can coordinate with my colleagues. People they can cover me in those days or those hours that I'll not be in the office. So we'll find a way in case if it's about the work. But
your colleagues also have things to do. How are they gonna cover so many hours? It's just like, I don't know, it doesn't seem very realistic, you know. If you're asking for a week, maybe then we you know, maybe we can think about it. But 4 months, this is
okay. May I ask our HR what are the other option we can do, or maybe what are the possibility of having such kind of modalities?
yeah, I'm really sorry. I have to go. I have another meeting. So thank you. I have to go. Thank you so much.
All right, let's pretend to get our home information and then Sarah. Okay. How's that for you? Everyone, please turn on your camera. Please turn on your camera, everyone. What's your reaction to the two scenarios you just saw? Have you ever seen such situation before in a workplace, not necessarily at IOM? And as a team leader, how do we handle such situation?
If you allow me, yes, actually, because the stories I was telling Sarah about, it's up in the office. So I got the same request. And I'm happy that with Sarah's reaction, actually, if you find a way how to just keep her decision, that is not possible. But for me, because they found a way at the end, they found a way. They approached the HR, they brought some reports. Yeah, but this is the same scenario I had in my office.
Thank you, Maisa. Anyone else?
Yeah, for me, it has happened, and the last case was, I think, last week or the week before, exactly the same scenario. So again, it becomes difficult. So if someone comes like that, I think the colleague, you just need to make sure you are empathetic, but at the same time you follow the policies that have been put in place. Yeah, because if you are having like 2 days uncertified leave, you can use this, maybe go check a rest or get checked by the doctor to be able to see if there's need for you to get that rest, but the rest cannot be like 4 weeks, 4 to 5 weeks. There need to be measures in place where again, you have to involve HR to provide further guidance if need be.
Thank you, David. So my question would then be, how can we be more empathetic as leaders? And I'm asking this question because if we do the same scenario with the people you lead, they would have a different response to this. So I'm asking this response to the leaders that lead the team. How can we be more empathetic? Yes, we have the policy, which sometimes might not be considerate of the humanness in us. So how can we be more empathetic as leaders when we find ourselves in this situation where the policy is there? It says you can have 2 weeks, but the health is saying no. You need 4 months to bed rest, then you can work from home. And because when COVID came, we all went to work from home. We saw the possibility of working from home. But now that we're back to normal, I feel like, no, you have to come to work even when you're dying. How can we be more empathetic?
That's a tough one.
I'm thinking it's just like kind of arrangement, because like what we have in the office, like in the IOM Nigeria, we have different units, so each unit, they have their own arrangement or work modalities. And now, like just last month, like it was announced by our chief of mission, we have this flexible work arrangement, like working from home. Each unit, they have their own modalities. And so this, I think it's like being human to find a way how can like coordinate among ourselves to have this balance, like make the work done as the schedule, as a plan, and also like have this modality like convenient for the staff, like to deliver their work on time within a very good atmosphere and good environment.
Thank you, Maisa. Anyone else? Can we hear from those who haven't been talking? It's okay to have your video off, and please let's hear from you. Anybody?
If I may.
Please go ahead, Faye.
Yeah, I think how to be empathetic, I think we just have to remind ourselves that we are working for a humanitarian international organization with all of the humanitarian's values, the same way that we are implementing our project towards our beneficiary. And we should also remind ourselves, yes, sometimes there is a pressure to complete the work, and it's hard not to have the full size of your team, but the same compassion that we provided towards our beneficiary, just to remind ourselves, okay, why can't we do the same for our staff? Because at the end of the day, you know, it's the same value. So perhaps just to remind ourselves where we are working. That's all.
Thank you, Faye. Any other person?
Well, if I might, in many situations, what the person who is making the request or is having the problem wants more than anything, even if they don't realize it, is to be heard, right? And that is so critically important, that we don't just, decide what we think they're going to say, cut them off, try to fix a problem, but actually hear and listen to the whole thing. And sometimes even the answer might come from them later if we let them speak. But people also want to be heard.
Thank you, Patrick. Thank you. Is there any other thing we're leaving behind before we move to the next activity? So I'm going to call on a 2-minute break for those who want to grab water. This is the fun part of the workshop. We're going to have a performance very soon, shortly after now. So you can grab a bottle of water if you want to grab a bottle of water. You can use the restroom if you need to use the restroom, just for 2 minutes. And then we're about wrapping up, but we're going to have a performance soon. So Manji's going to play some music as we gather. If you want to invite some of your teammates to see this past aspect of the workshop, to see the performance, please share the link with them. They can comment, they can watch the performance. So this is what a performance is going to look like. We're going to invite you to tell stories. The theme is stories of leading. So we're going to invite you to tell stories from your moment working with IOM or any part of your life where you had to lead a team. And then the actors, we would reenact such story back to you on the spot. So we do not rehearse. We do not have any prior rehearsal. Of course, it's based on your own story, which we don't know before. We're going to react that on the spot. So this is form is called Playback Theater. We have used this form in the Northeast, particularly in Maiduguri, to engage people to tell migrant stories, to also tell stories of displacement in the past. So I'm sure you're going to have an experience of it for the first time for some of you. And then so I welcome you to please feel free, use your mic, use your camera. We're going to be having you turn on your cameras, turn it off at intervals. And the group that is working on this performance with Playback Nigeria is called Playback for People. We're an online theater company that was founded in year 2020 during the COVID, when we couldn't meet physically any longer, and we needed to continue our practice. So we switched from stage to screen. And then ever since 2020, we've been performing for different occasions. And then today we're going to be performing for you. About 3 weeks ago, we're performing for the UNFPA team building retreats in Lagos, right from where we all are. So feel free to invite anyone from your office, from your team, to join online. So we're going to take a 2-minute break. And exactly, I think this should be 4:09 right now. By 4:13, we would have everybody come back. So you can grab water. You can still be here if you want to. Just grab water. Then we'll start our performance. Then we'll reflect. Then we'll be over. We'll be off for today. Thank you. Ranji, music. All right, so welcome again, everyone. And Playback theater is an original form of improvisational theater where audience members tell stories from their lives and watch it being enacted on the spot by actors. By show of turning on your screen, if you've ever seen a playback theater performance before, please turn on either physically or virtually. Please turn on your screen. All right, if you've seen it. All right, Mesa, could you tell us where did you see a playback theater performance?
Sorry, maybe I misunderstood you. You said okay. I never seen. Right?
If you've ever. Okay, so if you've never seen a playback theater performance, please turn on your screen. Those of us who have been part of a playback theater performance will turn off our screen. So if you've never seen a playback theater performance before, please turn on your screen.
Turn on, okay.
Thank you. So we assume that it's only Ayu, Mesa, and David that have never seen a playback theater performance before. Thank you for joining. All right. If you are far away from home, When I say far away from home, meaning either you are Nigerian, but you are far away from your home where you call home, or you are Indian, you are anywhere, please turn on your screen. I should also say that Jamilu, you are part of this show now, so you can be free to turn on and turn off your screen too. All right, thank you. All right, if you find yourself trying to fix things in a team, if you've ever found yourself in a team and you feel like you're responsible to fix things, please turn on your screen. Thank you so much. If you've ever been led before, if you've ever been led, you've been a teammate, a team member, please turn on your screen. Thank you. If you've ever led a team before, if you've ever led a team before, please turn on your screen. All right, thank you very much. Let's have our video off, everyone, as we have the introduction.
Hello, my name is Sarah, and I remember always having this strange relationship to leadership. I was invited to take leadership roles, and people told me, oh, you can be a good leader, or there are things that you can offer to a team. And I felt doubt. I was like, really, you think I can do that? And there are moments that I felt that, but there are moments that I felt like, what am I doing? So it's something that I both enjoy, but it's also, I feel sense of responsibility. So it's like this precious responsibility that was put onto me. So that's how I feel.
So that was me enacting out Sarah's reaction. Today's topic is about leaders being led and teams. I've had a great journey of being led by some wonderful leaders, and also had some challenging leaders, because of which my experiences have been a fantastic learning of leaders of all kinds. So that when I have now become a leader, I'm an entrepreneur now, and now I'm in a position of a leadership position. So I'm free to pick and choose, and I know how mindful I should be as a leader towards my team. And sometimes in opportunities like this with this team, I get to step out of my leadership role and be a team member. So I like to, seek out opportunities where I can be more team member with groups where I don't need to have a leadership role. So I enjoy that. And now I'm balancing between leadership roles and non-leadership roles in my career. That's my reaction and story around leaders and being led, and my situation currently.
Oh, okay. Oh. Mm. Mm. I'm the youngest. I'm the youngest in my family. So from very young, I always the follower, and I don't know I can have chance to lead, and so I always stay at the back. When I realized that actually we are family, we can be equal, not the youngest, always the follower. Sometimes we can be equal, we can lead our family, sometimes we can tell them what to do. So now I grow up already, I try to make my family understand that we can be equal, but because of the long time we already in this kind of situation, so now I want to change. I feel like actually it's not easy to do that. This is a challenge for me.
Oh, yes, I can join that. Yes, I can do it. I can do it. I can do what you say. I can follow. I can follow. Wait. I can lead. I can lead. I can follow and I can lead. I'm a big girl now. My story of leadership is disappointment with the way I was trained to be a leader by my mentors, by people who came before me, by team leaders that I was on. And I found that that model is insufficient. And I was reminded of that today as you all did the scenarios around having a pregnant coworker. And we tend to lead with, my experience was we lead with, we do it, we follow the rules, as opposed to leading with compassion and what people need. And so my leadership is evolving, and I'm always learning and trying to learn how to be more compassionate and balancing that with what's needed for the project. That's my story of leadership.
Oh, I can be more compassionate. Yes, I can be more compassionate. Yes, I can be more compassionate.
Thank you.
I've had the opportunity to lead several groups. But the challenging thing for me has always been being the ruler. So at every point, I'm the kind of leader that listens to opinion. So when we want to make a decision, I ask everyone, what do you think? And we both go through the process of learning from each other. And that's how I run my family also. So both leading in terms of my organization, leading in terms of the work I do, leading in terms of family. I'm this open-minded leader that wants to get everyone's voice. But that doesn't mean that I do not know what to do, but I want everyone to have a voice. Let's watch.
I hear you. Thank you. I hear you. Thank you. I hear you.
I have something to say.
Wait, this is what I want to say. Yeah, I'm listening. Listening. Okay. I know you. Okay.
I hear you.
Thank you, actors. And thank you, everyone. By using the chat box, I want you to tell me how you feel when you are called to lead. Just write in the chat box the feeling that comes to your mind or what comes to your mind when you're called to lead. Maybe you're being assigned a task to do, or as you being a manager, what feelings come to your mind? What's the experience like for you? You can use the chat box. Sometimes nervous. What else? What comes to your mind when you're called to lead? So we'll take Patrick's feelings of being nervous when he's being called to lead as we wait for other people to share more. So in fluid sculpture, being nervous. Let's watch.
Leading? All right. Is it the right angle? Okay.
I can do this.
I
can do this. I can do this.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Oh. There is a light and I need to follow it. I think I'm nervous. I think I need to lead the light somewhere. I don't know if I need to follow it or if I need to just look at it.
I can do this.
I need to follow it. The light.
Oh.
Thank you very much, actors. I have from Faye a lot of responsibilities that I think many people don't understand. Faye, do you mind sharing more about that?
Yes.
You can turn on your camera.
I don't know, it doesn't work.
Okay.
It says the host has stopped it. I guess I'm being bad.
Okay, you can do it now.
Okay. Yes, I think a lot of people, I mean, of course, this is disclaimer, this is my personal opinion. People look at you as a manager and then it's like, oh yeah, it's easy, manage, you just send an instruction, do this, do that, do this, sign here, sign there. I think a lot of people may not understand what those responsibilities behind, what is that signature means, or if we're managing a certain fund, what is that millions, 100 millions money that we're managing. I think a lot of people only see it as oh, it's nice sitting relaxed in this chair, having your own room, and with all of that maybe allowance and things like that. I think people just tend to see it that way rather than actually the real the work you have or anxiety. Let alone, I mean, we're just not managing a project, but as a leader, as a manager, we're also managing our team members. And then from my experience, managing team members, managing other colleagues is actually probably more challenging than managing the actual project itself. Again, just my opinion.
So what I hear you say is that a lot of time, a lot of people think the work you do is easy. And then they think it's just about, and when they come in to take your signature, they don't know that there are a lot of things involved. Sometimes even if you hesitate to, sometimes you might don't want to sign, and then because people don't really understand that that signature means a lot to the work you do. Did I get you correctly?
Yeah, exactly. Signature is one thing, but it's easy. It's so easy to being judged and seen from outside. You know, when you're being in as a leader, pretty much like.
How does this make you feel?
But I mean, I think it is. You know, it's part of the job, and it's also part of you know, what makes you different as a leader, and then to balance it and to show it to people, and to show your team why you have to make a decision, why you have to set up boundaries. You know, maybe you're being judged of being difficult, you know, but you know, you balance on being difficult, follow the rules, and try to engage with your team going, you know, so yeah, just try to balance it, which is not easy.
All right. So actors, we're going to reenact Fire Story using flute sculpture, trying to balance my work. Fire Story, you can turn off your cameras, Fire. Let's what?
The job, the people, the project, the people working on it. There's so much. Does everybody realize how many balls I'm keeping in the air? The project, the people, the job, those who need to do it. I'm juggling so many balls. I'm dropping balls. People, project, people, people, project, people.
Must stay balanced.
All right, I know it's heavy and no, you don't understand me. You don't understand. This thing you must do. Hey, okay. Please. This is the situation we must. Okay. Do it good. Do it right. Okay. You
Follow me. I am the path. I'm the leader, and I'm just sharing all that. Remember, As we grow larger and we realize that, hey, wait, that's just my shadow. I am a totally different human being. You can come close to me. That you see behind me is a shadow of a manager, a huge person with responsibilities. But I'm just a simple person. You can come to me and talk to me. Don't worry about my shadow. It's just the role. I am a human, just like you.
So much to juggle.
Don't worry about my shadow.
All right. Stay in balance.
Thank you very much, actors. Fine, can you have your video on? Did you say a part of your story? Do you have any reaction? What part of your story did you see? You're muted. Still muted.
Sorry. Yeah. I was actually very touched with all of the performance from the actors. To the point that actually it's a little bit, emotional. Like, I think everyone captured exactly the, what do you call it? The, the struggle, the realities. Heidi performance in the beginning was, I was like, the juggle. That's the words. It's like the juggle, and let alone work. And then you also have to balance and juggle that within your personal life as well. So we're very well captured. It's amazing.
Thank you for sharing. Is there anyone else who has a similar story of how you feel when you're called to lead, or stories of leadership, a moment from your life when you had to step in as a leader?
There's David in the chat.
Okay. David, do you mind to come on your camera and tell us more? The task ahead and the outcome can sometimes be unsettling, fear of the unknown. David, do you mind telling us more? Thank you, Angie, for that. You can turn on your camera and unmute yourself. David? Is David still there?
Yes. I was trying to move.
Okay.
Yeah, I missed a bit of what you said.
Okay. I was asking, we just saw your message in the chat that says the task ahead and the outcome can sometimes be unsettling, the fear of the unknown. Do you mind turning on your camera and telling us more about this fear of the unknown?
Okay, sorry, I'm in the vehicle going.
That's very okay.
To the house.
We perform in the
fine.
vehicles in transit.
Okay, good. So basically what I was trying to say is sometimes as a team leader, of course you have other bosses ahead of you, and they might assign you a task that you might feel like, how do I start? This is beyond me and that, and then you are more worried about the outcome. Will you be...
Do you mind sharing a particular moment from your own experience?
Yes, yes, there was a time we were having donors come to Maiduguri. This was a first-time donor, basically a new person leading the mission. The donor, I think it was BHA. So they were coming in for the first time to understand the context, to understand what you're doing.
Okay, we are losing you
as a unit, and the boss was not feeling well. So within like 20 minutes to the start of the meeting, he was able to hand over everything to me to maybe give the context of my degree and all that. And then, the room is full of people. So you scratch your head like, oh, 20 minutes to this, and you have to start now figuring out what you need to say, what you don't need to say, and how will this be taken by the donors? Will they understand what you want to say? etc. Over.
Okay. So David, what I hear you say is that there was a time that a donor came into Maiduguri. Maiduguri, for those who don't know, is in the northeast of Nigeria where the humanitarian intervention takes place. And then I hear you say that the boss who was supposed to do a presentation to the donor wasn't available as a result of sickness. And then you were given 20-minute notice to do a presentation for the donor. How did this feel for you? How was it for you?
Yeah. So basically, it felt like an ambush. Of course, I've been doing this for a while, but it felt like an ambush. And then, you have that slim sweat, like, oh, where do I start all this? But yeah, when I started talking, I think I used some generic presentation and all that, and I calmed down. But before it was like, what do I tell these guys? What not to say? How to start? But as we progressed with the meeting, and I think I became calm. Over.
At the beginning, you were scared, transformational. You were scared, and then at the end, could you tell us more about the outcome? How was the outcome for you?
Yeah. So, okay. So basically, the outcome was okay. Everyone was satisfied with the responses. Were able to respond to the questions, and they were able to understand the context. And I think.
How did you feel at the end?
I felt good.
Good.
Yeah.
All right. So thank you so much, David. The actors would reenact this using a form called the peers. One arm, they will show your fears, and the second part of the story, they will show your excitement. So you can turn off your camera as we watch. Actors, we have Peggy and Sarah go as the first pair. Let's watch.
Oh no, only 20 minutes to prepare. Oh my God, this is so short. This, what can I do? I don't know. I have to prepare the thing in the very short time. Oh my God. Yeah, this is so challenging.
We can't hear you, sir.
Yeah, I know.
What? Now? What? Now? No.
Wait. You mean to say I am the new spotlight? I have to do presentation? Yes, I can. Because I have it in me. I think I can. Wait.
I can't.
No, you can. Relax. This is Madhugiri. You are the new, the star of Abuja. You can present. Come on. I am the presenter in you.
Thank you, actors. Thank you very much. I'm gonna have us, David, before I call you, to do the same story back in transformational fluid, if that's okay. Thank you.
I can't. I'm not ready. No, no, help, help.
This is so scary. This is so, yeah, so scary. Oh, my heart is beating. Okay.
This is so heavy. I need to push what, me? I just have 20 minutes?
Okay. Whoa.
That wasn't so bad. I think
Whoa.
Wait.
I did it.
If I believe in myself, I can just push it. Boom.
Whoa.
I am so strong.
Beautiful. This is beautiful. Whoa.
Thank you, actors. Thank you very much. All right, David, can we have your camera back on? Did you see part of your story? You can unmute. Yeah.
Yes,
go ahead.
yes. Yeah, I saw part of my story.
So what stood out for you?
The last part when David was trying to show how easy it is. I think that one stood out for me.
Thank you very much for sharing. Thank you for sharing. All right. Because of time, we have just time for a very short story. If there's anyone who has the heart to say, oh, I want to really share a story, don't worry. We have several opportunities to come again to do playback with you. On Saturday, we have a show where we're doing Playback Nigeria anniversary at 8. So if you don't get to share your story today, you can get to share on Saturday, or we can do something from Playback for Playbackers for your team, or if you want a physical performance in Abuja, Maiduguri, Benin, or Lagos, we can come in to do a workshop or performance for you. So if there's anyone who has a heart to tell a story about stepping in as a leader, we'll just take one more. You can mute yourself. You can turn on your camera so that we can have you.
There were a few reactions from Misa, who said opportunity to learn more. Kellen Chunkwa said there's an excitement.
Yes, so opportunity to learn more, stepping out a leader, excitement. Any of you want to share more about this? Meisak, Kelechiku, anybody? We can also have that as the sign off of corridors. All right, if there's no more story, can you please make use of the chat box to share about what stood out for you from today's workshop in total, and also this performance? Just a word or two in the chat box, and the actors will see this and then capture it in a play of corridors. And then also, you could also use this. Was going to go back to use this, but because of time, let's just do the reflection in total. So if you check in the chat box, Patrick has written 3 words: I wish, I liked, what if. So if there's any part of the workshop, anything you like in the workshop that you liked, you could just reflect that part. I like so and so, or I wish. If there's anything you wished for, probably it could be you wish that we could do this in a physical space and bring everybody to Nigeria, or anything like that. Or what if? So those 3 options, use that to answer the question about what you liked about today's workshop. Not just this performance, but the whole workshop from when we started at 2:15 p.m. Please go ahead. So you can pick one of the 3. You don't have to take the 3. What you liked, or what you wished, or what if? Something you wished happened. So you said, I like the interaction and fun games in the session. I wish we can do this in person. Yes, it's possible to do it in person. Reach out to Lauren and he would invite us to come into. We're in Maiduguri and we're in Yola for the Maiduguri and Yobe team. So thank you for that. Anyone else? You don't have to do the 3. You wish, you liked, what if? I like the actors and mini theater performance. Amazing, very different and spot on. Thank you. That's from Faye. We'll take questions later. If that's okay, we want to just reflect on the workshop first, so that the actors can wrap up the performance and we can go back into the workshop. I like how interactive acts and how they were related to real life. That's from David. It could be one sentence. I like this activity. All right. I guess we'll move on based on what we have. I wish more staff are participating. Okay. I wish more staff are participating. I like the interaction and the chance to perform. All right then. Thank you very much. Faye, I saw the other messages, and then I'm sure a lot of people had excuses of not being here. Lauren was stuck in the airport, and a couple of others, so we apologize. So actors, moment from the workshop. Do we have enough, or do we want to ask for?
No, it's good.
Okay, good. All right. We can have everyone turn off their cameras, and then we have the actors turn on the camera one by one for corridors. Let's watch.
Once upon a time, there was a game that brought out a connection between 2 people.
Once upon a time, in Maiduguri, a man once felt the crown of Maiduguri was given to him. He was asked to become a king for a day, and he realized he enjoyed it.
Once upon a time, a woman want to make things good, but nobody can understand her.
Once upon a time, there was an invitation. Come on, let's do this in person. Everyone come to Lagos. Everybody come. We're coming. We're coming. We can do this in person.
Once upon a time, people from Maiduguri, Lagos, Benin, Abuja came together online to perform and tell their stories. Thank you, everyone, for watching the performance. We're still going back to the workshop. We have about 3 minutes to wrap up. Thank you very much, actors. Let's have everyone turn their cameras on. Please turn your cameras on as we wrap up soon. So thank you very much to Patrick. Patrick, do you have a final before we answer questions and talk about some technical things? You're muted.
Patrick has sent a message that says, I wish it could be done to field colleagues in person so that it's hard to reach locations so that it reduces stress.
Yes,
yeah.
Thank you. I wish more staff are participating. I wish this could be done to the field colleagues in outreach locations. Yes, like I said, David, we were in Yola to work on team building, and I think Ranji and I facilitated a session in Yola about 2 weeks ago. So yes, we'll be happy to come into your location. We'll be happy to come into Maiduguri. We've done that before in Maiduguri, in Yobe. Both for team building workshop, for theater for social justice, for mental health intervention, helping your staff in Maiduguri, training your mobile team staff to use theater for humanitarian purposes, theater for social change, theater for social justice. In the past, we've worked with UNICEF, both the child protection session and WASH session. For WASH session, we engaged some IDPs, trained them to use theater to talk about environmental hygiene, and we did performances with them in about 15 IDP camps in Maiduguri. We've also worked in 7 local governments in Borno State, including Dikwa, Mongono, Kondoga, Jere, Maiduguri itself, Dikwa, Bama, training people, working directly. We work directly with the IDPs. We also work directly with some of your mobile team staff to equip them to be able to render the services. So we provide that training opportunities also. Also, for those of you in Benin and Lagos, we also render services in terms of training your staff or some of the people you work with in the migrant section to tell migrant story as a form of psychosocial support and healing for them. So there's several possibilities of what we do. If you want to know more about what we do, you could please email us at office@playbacknigeria.com. So yes, there's every possibility for doing this physically. Patrick, Angie, AD, everyone is welcome to come into is willing to come into Nigeria if you want to further work about what we do. So there are several possibilities of what we can do together. Also for the team building section in itself, working with your team, either you want us to work with your smaller team in your unit, for those of you who had different units, that is a possibility. Lauren and I are talking about doing something online, which, like you said, might not be the same as physical workshop for all the entire team. In Maiduguri, we just had 20 people. In Yola, there's a possibility. I think if you need this, you can reach out to us, and then you can also reach out to the proper channel and you could speak to Lauren to see how this can benefit your immediate unit and the larger body. Someone says he had a question before. I can take the question now. We need to wrap up. Are you? After this, you can reach out to us directly. I will provide my WhatsApp number. I'm not in Nigeria at the moment, so I can't pick a call, but I'll provide our WhatsApp number and our email address for you to reach out to us directly. All right, so Ayu, your question.
Thank you so much. Yeah, what I feel is this is very interesting activity that I'm thinking to also have this program for our beneficiaries or for our returnees. And I just want to know, you mentioned about Playback Nigeria, right? So I can contact, and also if I want to learn, thank you so much. If I want to learn more about this one and how possible it can be implemented for our returnees, then yeah. Okay.
Yes, it's very possible. Yeah. So just write to us at office@playbacknigeria.com. We'll be happy to come into Lagos to work with your returnees on migrant stories and any other defined project. And one of the reasons why we call for this, Lauren asked us to come do a complimentary show and have you people experience what we do. And yes, we are willing to do more of this. Thank you. Yeah, Ranji acting skill. So thank you so much, Ranji. Thank you so much, Patrick. It was 6 a.m. at Patrick's location when we started. It was 8 a.m. at my location, 9 a.m. It's about 11 p.m. where Ranji and Peggy are right now, and it's 6 p.m. where Sarah is right now. AD, it's 10 about 10 or 11 a.m. So thank you very much, everyone. Thank you, David. Thank you, Faye. Thank you, Ayu. Thank you, Maisha. Thank you, everyone, for reaching out. We would like you to please fill our feedback form. I'm going to share a link briefly now, and I'm also going to send that via email. Unfortunately, we have email for everybody. So for those who didn't attend, they might not be able to know what to fill in the feedback form. So I'm going to share the feedback form link here as message, and then also send it to you via email. So thank you, everyone. We would like to, as we send this feedback form, allow you go and then close for the day, because we know it's 5 p.m. already and it's past working hour. But thank you for being a wonderful participants in this workshop. Call centers are open 24/7, so be free to reach out to us, free to message us. And a very special thank you to Jamilu, I guess is not online again at the moment. Thank you for facilitating the technical part. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful evening and morning and afternoon, wherever you are.